veterans of the Armed Forces of the United States, fellow members of VOLMA, Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts of America, Captain Ring, Mr. Payne, Colonel Harvell, Major Hogue, Mr. Van Wart, Messrs. Pereira and Dwyer, and other town officials, ladies and gentlemen. In the era of SARS-CoV-19, our celebration of Memorial Day is attenuated, but very much alive. To honor the town's restriction of gathering to minimal numbers, we have gone the way of most of America, gathering together virtually and abbreviating our program. Despite our limitations, it's nonetheless a privilege to once again honor our hallowed American military heroes who have given their all that we might live in the privilege that surrounds us. This very moment, our military men and women stand vigil through the night that we might live and well and sleep soundly. None of our intrepid military men and women leave home planning on never returning. But every person who has donned the cloth of our nation knows what is expected of him or her and accept that sober responsibility. For their courage and devotion, we honor all of our vets, both living and departed. Our invocation will be offered by Captain Heather Thompson Ring, a member of my maritime sister service, the United States Merchant Marine. Captain Ring is credentialed to command ships of any size on any ocean. She's a deacon of the First Parish in Lincoln, right there. Captain Ring.
On this Memorial Day, we pray for all those who gave their life to protect our freedom. We remember their courage and bravery. We ask you to grant their loved ones peace and strength. Grant us your loving protection and guide us to peace. May we have compassion and continue to seek justice for the injustices we observe. May we forever hold in the light those who have passed before us, giving the freedom we have today. Let us seek peace and comfort our comrades. Amen.
Thank you, Captain Ring. Our national anthem will be sung by Jacqueline Risser, a native of Lincoln, but current resident of New York City, but she's currently enjoying leafy Lincoln for a few weeks during the pandemic. I will sing harmony with her. Ladies and gentlemen, proper etiquette calls for all who are able to rise and face the flag during the national anthem. Ladies may leave hands at the side or place the right hand over the heart, as should the gentlemen. Gentlemen with headdress should remove their cover and hold it over their heart with their right hand. All veterans, even out of uniform, are authorized to render the hand salute. Jackie.
Twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
Thank you, Jackie. Colonel Peter Harvell, United States Army Special Forces, is our town's Veterans Service Officer, and he will address us now. Colonel?
Thank you, Captain. Good morning. I serve as the town Veteran Service Officer. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts has the greatest number of state benefits in any of the states in the Union. So I really encourage you, if you have a neighbor in these times that's struggling, and he is a veteran or the widow of a veteran, please try to get hold of me, because there are so many benefits available to veterans here in the Commonwealth. We're talking about Chapter 115 benefits, real estate property tax benefits, war bonuses, a great number of benefits. And I really appreciate this opportunity to make this public service announcement. But I also want to make sure that everybody understands that, we're all in this together. Stay calm, fix bayonets.
Thank you, Colonel. And speaking of public service announcements, we have been asked to announce that the United States Census Bureau is working diligently to find out who lives in America. And certainly all of our departed vets want America to be strong, and it's part of being strong that funding of everything from schools to roads to political representation arises from census data. So when the time comes, please submit it cheerfully. Our veterans organization in town is VOLMA, for Veterans of Lincoln, Massachusetts. It's a pleasure to introduce to you Major Adam Hogue, United States Army National Guard, and the president of VOLMA. Major Hogue is currently the supply chief for Joint Base Cape Cod. It is said that generals win battles, but logisticians win wars. Major Hogue is a logistician. Major Hogue.
Thank you, and welcome everyone from online and that has participated in this ceremony today. Too bad we couldn't do it with everyone else, but it is kind of a rainy day, so everyone's probably a lot more comfortable in their homes. I just want to say a few words. Being president of VOLMA, we plan events like this and help support veterans in our community. And during a time like this, wars don't stop just because of a pandemic. We still have soldiers out there. We have soldiers that are actually helping the Commonwealth of Massachusetts combat this by providing medical support, food to families in need. So this Memorial Day, remember all those that are out there still fighting and all those soldiers that have lost their lives defending our great country. So what we do here at VOLMA is we remember those who've given their lives, but also help veterans in need. If you're interested in helping out with VOLMA, you don't have to be a veteran, just someone that supports veterans' causes. So please reach out to me online through email. My email is adam.m.hogue@gmail.com. Happy to get you in our group and help plan great events like this to support veterans in our community. Now I'll turn it back over to Captain Risser. Thank you.
Thank you, Major Hogue. Mr. Jonathan Dwyer, a resident of Lincoln for more than 2 decades, has been a planner of this and other town events for many years of service as a leader of the Celebrations Committee. He is now a selectman and will address us. Mr. Dwyer.
Thank you for that. I'm honored to be here on behalf of our town's citizen-driven government to recognize our appreciation for the sacrifices our nation's armed forces personnel have made on our behalf. Our country has been at war in one way or another for most of my life, and today is a day we come together to say the names of the people we know, the names of those who served and came home, and the names of those who served and never made it back. My wish for them, for you, and those serving today is peace.
Thank you, Mr. Dwyer. Our town has a long history of military service to the nation. beginning with the alarm of Paul Revere, resulting in the march of the Lincoln Minutemen to the Battle of Old North Bridge in 1775. Over the past year, we have lost 13 of our townsmen who have served the nation in our armed forces. Rodney Ferris, USAF. Michael Farney, USMC. Robert Hansey, U.S. Army. Peter Holland, U.S. Army. Avron Kaliski, USN. John Kling, U.S. Army. William Monroe, USN. Charles Oakley, USN. David Phillips, U.S. Army Air Force. Theodore Rhodes, USN. Richard Russes, USN. Forrest Shaw, USMC. And Donald Thompson, USAF. Rest in peace, our brothers. Colonel Harvell advises us that this year marks the 75th anniversary of the ending of World War II. Lincoln had 5 of our finest killed in action during the war. I will offer a brief comment on each of these American heroes. First, Private First Class Ray Sillard Smith, 47th Infantry Regiment of the 9th Infantry Division, KIA, in the Hurtgen Forest during the Battle of the Bulge on 11 December 1944. He is buried in the Chapella American Cemetery in Belgium. Second, Private First Class Lucius Witten Jackson, 267th Infantry Regiment, KIA, in the European Theater on Christmas Day, 1944. Third, Private First Class John MacDonald Fradd, 34th Infantry Regiment, 24th Infantry Division, KIA, on Mindanao, 27 June 1944. He is buried in the Manila American Cemetery, Taguig City, Republic of the Philippines. Fourth, Corporal Dominic Panetta, 1st Battalion, 5th Marines, 1st Marine Division, KIA, in the Battle of Okinawa, 21 June 1945. And fifth, Lieutenant Commander Leland Mothershead Burr, Jr., USN, USS Callaway, KIA, 08 January 1945, at sea when his ship was attacked by a Japanese kamikaze aircraft. Commander Burr was posthumously awarded the Navy Cross, which is second only to the Congressional Medal of Honor. I will read an abbreviated version of the citation of Commander Burr's award. The President of the United States takes pride in presenting the Navy Cross posthumously to Lieutenant Commander Leland Mothershead Burr, United States Naval Reserve, for extraordinary heroism and distinguished service in the line of his profession while serving as staff watch officer on board the transport ship USS Callaway when that vessel was struck by a Japanese plane off the coast of Luzon in the Philippine Islands on 08 January 1945. At his post on the bridge when the enemy craft exploded close by, starting raging fires and inflicting serious casualty on the ship's company, Commander Burr unhesitatingly rushed forward, although his clothing was aflame, to aid crewmen trapped in the 20-millimeter clipping room abaft the bridge, where rounds were already exploding from the heat. On recurrent trips into the blaze and smoke, he carried multiple fellow crewmen to safety, incurring additional serious injury. Steadfastly refusing medical care, he instead joined his shipmates in fighting the spreading fires. Unwavering in his devotion to duty, he insisted on briefing his replacement and discussed with the attack force control officer the coming assault against Luzon. Regrettably, he ultimately lapsed into a coma from which he never recovered. Concerned only for the safety of his ship and her company, Commander Burr, by his indomitable determination and self-sacrificing conduct in the face of apparent disaster, served as an inspiring example to the officers and men with whom he served, and his great personal courage throughout a critical period upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life for his country. Commander Burr, we all salute you. The litany of who has provided our blessings in America has been around for some time, but is always worth repeating. It is not the preacher who has given us freedom of religion, but the veteran. It is not the reporter who has given us freedom of the press, but the veteran. It is not the poet who has given us freedom of speech, but the veteran. It is not the campus organizer who has given us freedom to assemble, but the veteran. It is not the lawyer who has given us the right to a fair trial, but the veteran. It is not the politician who has given us the right to vote, but the veteran. It is the veteran who salutes the flag, who serves under the flag, and whose coffin will be draped by that flag. Lieutenant John McCrae was a doctor in the Canadian Army, serving in the dreadful trench warfare of World War I. Though he did not survive the war, dying of complications of chlorine gas inhalation, the poignance of his words lives on. In Flanders fields the poppies blow beneath the crosses, row on row that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. R.W. Lillard wrote a response to that powerful poem, which should constitute our resolution for today. Rest ye in peace, ye Flanders dead. The fight that you so bravely led, we've taken up. And we will keep true faith with you who lie asleep, with each a cross to mark his bed and poppies blowing overhead. When once his own lifeblood ran red, so let your rest be sweet and deep in Flanders fields. Fear not that ye have died for naught. The torch ye threw to us we caught. 10 million hands will hold it high, and freedom's light shall never die. We've learned the lesson that ye taught in Flanders fields. That's a powerful charge to us, ladies and gentlemen. We have the mandate to give meaning to their lives. So there is something each of us can do to honor them. We can help build a just, prosperous, honorable, noble society. We can also be happy and celebrate the holiday joyously with our families and friends. That is in part what they died for. May it be so. The wreath is a circular arrangement of leafy plants and dates back to Roman times as a symbol of honor. Today we place a wreath at the memorial stone to honor Lincoln's sons and daughters who fell in battle. The wreath will be placed by Mr. Walton Van Wart, United States Army veteran and commander of the Lincoln Post of the American Legion. 200 years ago, the hymn Amazing Grace, 200 years old, the hymn Amazing Grace is performed some 10 million times per year in America. It will be played by Lincoln resident Alex Payne, a junior at Payne, United States Air Force. Mr. Van Wart, Mr. Payne. Thank you, gentlemen. In 1818, the U.S. Navy established proper gun honors to be rendered on special occasions. Our rifleman today will be Mr. Van Wart, who will be shooting the M1 Garand rifle, which was the mainstay of battle in the Pacific Theater during World War II. Today there will be a single rifle firing 3 rounds. The bugle call, taps, consists of just 24 notes. It is now played at the end of the day on all of our military bases. Mr. Payne will render taps. Ladies and gentlemen, the same etiquette is called for rifle salute and taps as for the national anthem. So please rise and salute or hand on heart as appropriate. Commander Van Wart, prepare to fire. Mr. Payne, prepare for taps.
Present arms.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have a number of folks to thank for supporting today's ceremony. First and foremost, our veterans. Thank you, Captain Ring. Thank you, Jackie Risser. Mr. Alex Payne, our inspiring trumpet. The town of Lincoln Parks and Recreation Department and the Lincoln Fire Department, who once again managed to place that spectacular flag on the library. Stonegate Gardens for our memorial wreath and for the flowers here in front of me. Burns Landscaping for landscaping and memorial backdrop. Our rifleman, Mr. Wally Van Wart, who also, with the assistance of Mr. Joey Catoni of our Cemetery Commission, placed some 330 flags this weekend at the tombs of our town veterans in the 3 Lincoln cemeteries where those veterans are perpetually standing their final watch. Thank you, Major Hogue. And finally, our video engineer and the kingpin to the events today, Mr. Dan Pereira, director of the town's Parks and Recreation Department. Dan was also responsible for providing the end of the rain for us today. Well done, Dan. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our program. Happy Memorial Day, everyone, and may God bless America.